Good morning, Year 11. So we're on Thursday, the 2nd of April. We're going to do density, mass and volume, speed, distance, time, and then a bit of work on inequalities. For density, you need to remember this little triangle. Density equals mass over volume. The units will either be grams per centimetre cubed or kilograms per metres cubed. So make sure you're using grams and centimetres or kilograms and metres. So first question, we've got the mass of an object is 800 grams. The volume is 30 centimetres cubed. Calculate the density. So we've got density, mass, volume. Got to know that ready for your exam. To get density, we're going to use these two numbers here. So we need to take the mass, which is 800, and divide it by the volume, which is 30. 800 divided by 30, that gives us, to one decimal place, we'll do it, 26.7, and the units will be grams per centimetres cubed. Now for the next question, we've got an option. One of the units is in kilograms, one of the units is in centimetres. So you either convert your centimetres to metres and do kilograms per metre cubed, or convert your kilograms to grams. Now if we look down here, it actually gives us a hint here as to what we're aiming for, and they should put that in the exam so you know what to head for. So we need to convert our kilograms to grams. So we're going to times that by 1,000, so we know we've got 9,000 grams. We want to calculate the density, so we're going to do density, mass and volume. We want density again, so we've got to do this calculation here, the mass divided by the volume. The mass is 9,000 grams divided by volume. Now we don't know the volume, so what we're going to have to do is work out the volume of the cube. So we're going to multiply all those numbers together, 6 times 9 times 3, and that gets us 62 centimetres cubed. So that's what we have to do, 9,000 divided by 162, and that gets us 55.6 grams per centimetres cubed. Okay, you've got a couple of questions to try now, so press pause and then play when you're ready. Okay, so hopefully you remember to convert your kilograms into grams. So you should have done 9,000 divided by 600, and you should have got 15 grams, kilograms per cent. That was grams, because I converted it. 15 grams per centimetres cubed. For this one, you have to work out the volume, so 7 times 3 times 4. So the volume of the cuboid is 84 centimetres cubed. We are working out the density. Remember, density is going to be mass divided by the volume. So we're going to have to do a mass of 10,000 divided by a volume of 84. So I'm going to put that in my calculator, 10,000 divided by 84, and you should have got 119.0 grams per centimetres cubed. Okay, speed, distance, time. Again, we're going to use one of the little triangles. Speed equals distance over time. To get speed, you've got to take the distance and divide it by the time. However, the time has to be in either seconds if you're doing it meters per second, or hours. But I'll show you on a calculator how best to do this. So we want to calculate the speed, a 30-mile journey, 2.5 hours. Now you do have two options. I'll show you both options. For both of them, we're going to do speed equals distance over time. So we're going to have to do the distance divided by time to get the speed. Now the first way is you get your distance, which is 30 miles, and you divide it by the time. And you might be able to do that in your heads, because I know 30 minutes is half an hour. So therefore in decimal time, it's 2.5 hours. And if you can do that, brilliant. So 30 divided by 2.5, and that gets us 12. So the units will be 12 miles per hour, because we converted the time into hours. You'll have a lot more space in the exam, don't worry. The second way is when this 30 minutes isn't a particularly nice number. 30 minutes is half an hour, so that's 0.5 as a decimal, but it might not always be that nice. So you can use a lovely calculator key, which is going to help us to do this one. We still want to do the distance, which is 30, but we're going to divide that by, we're going to use our calculator for this, we're going to divide that by 2 hours and 30 over 60 minutes. Now I'm going to write it in a not very nice way. However, this is the second method using your calculator. So it's not written very nicely. However, we're going to use our calculator and we're going to use a fraction key. So if you bring up your fraction key and then use your arrow to the left to get in front of the fraction, you can then put in the 2 whole hours and then go across, and you can put in those 30 minutes out of 60. So this minutes here, these aren't particularly nice, easy ones to convert. Use your fraction key on your calculator, 30, and then your denominator will always be 60. And then when you hit equals, it will just convert it really nicely for you. It just saves you a bit of headache in your exam. So miles per hour. So let's try this one here. So we need to calculate the speed. So speed equals distance over time. So we need to do the speed. Now let's do those two methods again. The distance, which is 48 miles, divided by, now 3 hours, 15 minutes. Again, those 15 minutes are quite nice. I can do that in my head. 15 minutes, I know it's a quarter of an hour, and 1/4 is 0.25. So I can just do 48 divided by 2.5. So 48 divided by 3.25, and that gets me 14.8 miles per hour. Not much space here. mph, I'm just going to put for miles per hour. The other way is to use our calculator. So we're going to do those 48 miles divided by, and then feed this into your fraction key. So divided by, hit your fraction key, and then go in front of the fraction for the whole hours, and then use your fraction. So that's 15 over 60. Just means you don't need to do any conversions in your head. Again, I'm going to write it a bit awkwardly. There we go. So 14.8 miles per hour. Okay, and let's try the bottom one. 72 miles. And the time is going to be 3 hours 20. Now again, 20 minutes is 1/3 of an hour. So I know this is 3.3 recurring. But it's possibly going to be easier to do this one using that calculator button. So we've got 3 whole hours and then 20 over 60. So let's program that in. 72 divided by, hit your fraction key, use your arrow left. 3 whole hours, use your arrow right. And then 20 over 60. And that's going to give us 21.6 miles per hour. Okay, over to you. Have a go at those questions there. Right then, so I got 21.8 miles per hour. I got, oh, no I didn't. Let me just double check that. I think I might have read out the wrong one. Let's try together. 120 divided by 5.5. Let's get that right. No, 21.8, that is right. Let's just do this one. So that's going to be 56 divided by 7.25. So that is 7.7. Well, you may have used your fraction key. And then this one, 80 divided by, now I'm going to use my fraction key for this one. So let's put in a 4 there. And then 20 out of 60. So that's going to get us 18.5 miles per hour. Now for the bottom one, you had to work out the time. So speed equals distance over time. In order to get time, we're going to have to do the distance divided by the speed. So that's going to be 140 divided by 60. And that gets us 2.3 hours. Now I know 0.33333 forever is a third, and I know a third of 60 is 20. So I know that's 2 hours and 20 minutes. However, let's say you're in the exam and you suddenly can't remember. The easiest thing to do is take off those 2 whole hours, so just minus the number in front of the decimal. So now it's 0.3 occurring. Just multiply that by 60 and it tells you the time. So 2 hours and 20 minutes. Okay, let's look at some inequalities now. So writing inequalities on a number line. This says x is greater than 1. We draw a circle at 1. And we draw an arrow in the direction of all the numbers greater than 1. This says x is greater than -1, but smaller than or equal to 3. We draw a circle at -1, a circle at 3, but because it can always also equal 3, we colour it in and draw a line between the two. This one seems to be going a little bit backwards. It just is being read the other way, really. It's just saying 1 is greater than x, which is greater than -3. So -3 is the smallest one, 1 is the biggest one, can't equal them, a line between the two. And then this one, it can equal -2, it can't equal 1, and a line between the two. So press pause and have a go at these ones, press play when you're ready. So a circle at 2, an arrow going left. A circle at -2, a circle at 4 coloured in, and a line between the two. A circle at a circle at 0, a circle at 3 not coloured in, and a line between the two. Coloured in circle at -1, a coloured in circle at 3, and a line between the two. Okay, to finish off, we're going to solve some inequalities. You solve these just like you solve equations. 2 times something add 1 has got to be smaller than 10. Start off by taking the integer value away from both sides. So we're going to -1 from both sides. That gets rid of that 1 there, so you're left with 2 x's. Drop down the same inequality sign and now take 1 away from 10 and you get 9. Now do 9 divided by 2. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. It may say something like this in your exam. What is the smallest number that x could be? So if x has got to be smaller than 4.5, it can't be 5. So the biggest number it could be is 4. So the largest integer value that x could be is 4. It might ask you that in an exam. So let's do this one. You're going to add that 2 to both sides. So 3x's is greater than, add 2 and you get 15. And then do 15 divided by 3, which is 5. Expand the brackets. 2x plus 4 is greater than 14. Remove the 4 from both sides. So 2x's is greater than 10. Divide both sides by 2. So x is greater than 5. With a fraction and a whole number, get rid of the whole number first. It's an add 1, so we take away 1. So x over 2 has to be smaller than or equal than 6 minus 1 is 5. And now times these two together. So x has got to be smaller than or equal to 10. Okay, over to you guys. Have a go at these. So you should have minus the 2 to get 21, divide by 3 to get 7. Add the 3 to get 16, divide by 4 to get 4. Expand the brackets, and then minus the 3, you get 12, divide by 3, x is smaller than 4. Add the 1 first, x over 2 is greater than 4, then times them, x is greater than 8. Right, quite a quick video. I might be releasing one for more higher content a bit later on today, so have a little look out for that if I get around to making one during the day. Well done guys, over to Maths Watch then for some added practice. Have a good day. Thanks, bye.